3, 2, 1. And we're back.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We had to wait like 100 hours for this prima donna to join us today, but we're really excited to have him on.
Bro, people book me like years in advance, okay? So I'm a very popular business mogul.
Before you jump into your business mogul and all this amazing stuff, let's just introduce you first,
so people are aware of who they're talking to.
So we have Mahmood Al Durrah joining us from Montreal, Canada, IFBB competitor. Is that or pro? How would you call that? A pro? IFBB pro?
Yeah, I'm an IFBB pro. Yeah.
Pro Olympia competitor, right? You've done that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Engineer, smart guy.
I mean, I have the degree.
Yeah. You're not doing a lot of engineering.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of engineering stuff, but if that counts, sure.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been really excited to get this happening, man. Yani Mahmood, aside from all those wonderful things that we said now when we introduced him, he's also my cousin, right? So actual true blood cousin. It's weird because I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna start off on the wrong foot just because you made us wait for 2 hours to get you on. Mahmood, unfortunately, he got all the good genetics, the looks.
I was just gonna say that. Like, where did the
what
looks happened?
No, the looks are there. Everything is there. The one thing he didn't get.
I know where this is going.
Right?
Yeah, I knew this was coming. Right? I knew because you don't have much to brag about. So it's like, fuck, what am I going to tell this guy? I'm like, I'm just going to bring up the height thing every time.
So Mahmood, unfortunately, didn't get the height gene. All of our family's above 6 feet. And then Mahmood just, I don't know, 5'5". I think my son Farhat, who's turning 10, just crossed that height.
Okay.
No, but all jokes aside, honestly, it's honestly really, really cool to have you on. Aside from the fact we haven't spoken in ages. But you're doing a lot of crazy things. You have a huge following. It's just amazing, yani, everything that you're doing. So we kind of want to go into your journey, all, what happened, how do you do this, how did you find this passion, and yeah, man, all the stories behind it, man. So give us a little bit of backtrack. You grew up in Egypt, right?
Yeah, so I started in Egypt, just a normal kid. I guess I had a fascination with I don't know, that could be the height thing. I always had a fascination with big stuff, like dinosaurs or like big superheroes or Hulk or whatever. And then and when I was 13, I think that's when I used to watch a lot of Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw an ad for Dragon Ball Z, but they didn't air it in Egypt. They didn't air it over there. I don't know why. So I had to spend like fucking remember back then the internet was like very slow.
Yeah.
So I'd wait like 5 hours to download like a 30-second or 1 minute clip of the show, and it was just like a prized possession. Like, yes, I have this clip on my computer, and I'd watch it over and over. And then I start drawing the characters, and I got into that. But I was always an artist, you know that.
Yeah, and you're, by the way, Mahmoud's an extremely talented artist.
Are you like an illustrator?
Yeah, so I draw comics and things like that.
Oh, pretty cool.
Do you still do that?
Yeah, I was offered. Yeah, not as much. No,
okay.
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I was offered a job at a tattoo parlor. They said they trained me, and
really
I wanted to do that.
Really, in Egypt?
Yeah, because in here, man.
Oh, here. Okay, recently. Okay, I don't know, man. We're still trying to go through your story. You went from 13 to tattoo parlor in Canada. I don't know, yani. I'm trying to keep up.
So after the drawing, at 16, I think I started. I wanted to box just to be able to fight like these characters.
Mm.
Like really, that was the intent. Like I was so into what I was doing. I got so obsessive, and I was like, "Fuck! I'm tired of drawing them. I want to be them." So I go to the fucking most ghetto boxing club I could find in Cairo. ghetto of the ghetto, you know. And I even went with my PJs, and even that looked a little, you know,
A little dressy for the environment.
Yeah. So I go and I started training. Man, they don't even have headgear.
Wow.
And the gloves, I think the gloves, they just stuff them with cotton over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just beat the shit out of everyone. So I started doing that for 2 years. And my shoulder kept always dislocating, you know. So I started working out my shoulders at home with dumbbells and stuff. And I kind of like saw, you know, a little pump there. And I was like, oh, this looks good. And I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can look like them too. And then I got into, you know, I started lifting weights at the gym, and the rest is history, man.
Wow. It's pretty crazy. Until you started, like, when did you decide really to take it seriously? I know you won university championship in Egypt, wasn't it?
Yeah. I won the university nationals in Egypt as a natural, by the way. I haven't touched any performance enhancing drugs at the time. So I won that natural. And everyone at that show is usually juiced up. Like when you're doing national level shit,
yeah,
everyone's. But I was very dedicated at what I did. Even my friends would be like, bro, like I'd wake up at 5 a.m. sometimes, just to have that Cairo clean air for like an hour before you started breathing all that dust and pollution in. So I'd wake up extra early just to get that fresh air. And I'd go to the gym, man, just consistently for years. The boxing I started at 16, weightlifting I started at 18 or 19. And I remember there was this trainer at my gym who said, you know, I always see you, you know, you're so dedicated and you're always coming here alone. You're always training alone. You don't really socialize at the gym. He's like, what is your goal? Like, do you want to have like a nice, you know, beach body? What is your goal? And I remember that day very well. I was like 140 pounds, you know.
Wow.
I looked at him and I said, I want to be a freak. And then he laughed. And then he put his hand around my shoulder and he's like, all right, okay, now I know what you want.
And that was it.
He was the first guy who kind of, you know, guided me a little. And then I started competing like a few months after at the university nationals. I didn't place the first time. Second year, I placed 9th. Third year, I placed 4th. That was after my motorcycle accident. And then 4th year, that's when I won.
Wow. I remember the motorcycle accident and that drama, right?
I had 2 accidents, bro. I had one motorcycle, and then I had the shoulder surgery from a street fight.
Yeah, I remember that as well. And what's interesting for me, always, and I think it's interesting for a lot of people, is they look at you now, and then, you know, the standard idea is, oh, you juiced up, you're just kind of juicing it. They don't understand, or they don't see the consistency, the dedication, the amount of work that goes into doing that. What is it? What's that drive? Okay, you want to be a freak, you want to look like the cartoon characters, but is that what's keeping you going? Like, what is it?
No. I think that was the initial start to lift weights. But then that whole idea of looking like the characters just goes away after a few years. And it just becomes about the competition. Like, just about that. Like, you stop. I'm talking me personally. I don't know about other people. I don't give a shit about how I look if I'm not competing.
Okay.
You know, I don't care. Like, if I'm taking a year off, I'd work my belly, man, at the beach, and I just, you know, everything's let go, and I don't care. You know, I don't have that. I don't have that complexity or body dysmorphia. I really, at this point, just do it for the competition, and just trying to beat other people that are doing what you're doing. And I think that's just I don't want to say a guy thing.
That's interesting. So what drives you is your competitive desire to win these competitions. It's not how I look, or it's not based on the feeling or the rush that you get from working out. Because, like, you know, I'm not at your level, but I've always been gravitated towards bodybuilding, working out, whether it's looking good or getting that functional performance, or getting, you know, that strength that you get. the byproduct of working out. I'm sure those things drive you as well. It's not just the competition.
To be honest, man, like it's stages. So okay, so the first stage was I wanted to look like these characters, and then the next stage was the competition, and then from the competition you just want to become kind of a star, you know, like, oh, I want to be at the Olympia, I want to play with the big boys, you know.
Yeah.
And then when you're there, that feeling kind of goes away. At least for me, this is for me. I'm talking for me, because other guys I know still do it at 36 for the competition purely, you know.
Different
and
drivers.
They love it. They still have that passion. Yeah, they still have that passion. Me, after a certain point, it started becoming, all right, this is a job now, and I
took it seriously.
I like making money. Yeah, I like making money, and it becomes about that. So it becomes about content. You still want to do very well, obviously, because you're showing that all in front of all your fans and people, especially with a YouTube channel. Like, you want to present the best that you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it becomes more just about that. It becomes just more about, money, honestly. And slowly, I think with me, the drive just kept going a little down in the last year. The last year was becoming a little exhausting.
So now, are you planning to continue competing, or is it like this is it? Because I know you have a huge business in terms of your PTs, your personal training programs that you're putting out, which we'll put some links to for anyone that's watching to check it out. It's really, really good. But is that now where you're seeing yourself going? Or are you going to continue trying to compete? Are you planning to be back in Olympia? Are you planning to do this?
To be honest, this year I was coming in very strong. I think I wanted this year to be my last, and I looked my best ever this year, and it was 3 weeks before Ireland Pro. It's a pro show in Ireland, and fuck, they got cancelled.
Yeah.
So that was a big bummer for me,
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons too is because I have a fracture in my lower back. So the last few years have been very difficult to get better. I can maintain the physique that I have, but it's not in my nature or my personality to just maintain. I always want to improve.
Yeah.
So somebody at your level, so sorry to interrupt you, but somebody at your level in these competitions, when you're talking about maintaining, so let's say you have a competition coming up in 3 months, 4 months. How long does it take you to prepare from your, normal weight or your normal shape to be prepared for that competition?
Anywhere between 4 months, I think, around 4 months.
And that's strict diet, strict training.
But here's the thing, though. You're doing all that the whole year. There is no time off at this level. So my off season is growing. I'm trying to grow more than the year before.
On average, the
4 months.
Yeah, when you're growing, you're talking about growing. Like, it's hard for people to understand, but like, what's your expectation? If you're in competition and you're competing and you're wanting to get better every year, how much are you growing? Like, what is it? How much pure muscle can you attain every year? How much weight can you put on every year?
I think at my level, 3 pounds a year, 4 pounds a year.
Wow.
Of lean muscle.
Yeah. Of pure muscle, yeah. But here's the thing. So every year also you want to improve your condition, which is basically how dry you look on stage. So sometimes I compete and the difference between my weight from this year to last year is only 2 pounds. Sometimes it's the same, but I still look better because I'm drier.
And when you say drier,
so there's less fat. Yeah, less fat, less water, a little bit more muscle.
What type of body fat percentage do you enter the competition with?
Like, man, between definitely under 5. So around 4, 3, 4.
Wow.
4, 3.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Tessa, now
it's very difficult to maintain.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And this is what I was going to say. Like, how do you maintain that drive to continue, that discipline to continue doing what you're doing? Like,
the first show is always the easiest and the most fun of the year. The first show of the year is the most fun. The second show, it's like, all right, okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. The third show, and it's always like this. The third show is always like, fuck this shit. I want to go home.
I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go eat some McDonald's.
Every year, bro. The third show every year is fuck. I'm texting my wife, fuck this shit. I want to go home. I'm done. I don't want to do this, you know.
And is that 3 shows per year? Is the plateau, is the max, or are there?
Oh man, sometimes it's 4 because the Olympia is usually the last show in September. So there's that huge gap between the qualifying shows where you have to qualify for the Mr. Olympia and then the Olympia itself. And then the Olympia is the most difficult one. Okay. So it's like after all that effort, you have to still, you know, you still have to give even a better version of yourself. Even you have to work harder, diet harder for the Olympia. And for me, it practically becomes just absolutely draining. You know, I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, okay. Can you walk? Because I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of struggle to understand the makeup of this IFBB. How does it work? How do you qualify? And then how many competitors? How many shows? And then how do you qualify to the Olympia?
Let's start from the bottom. Okay, you start by doing local shows, local contests, and then you work your way. You do a local contest. No, it doesn't matter what you place. You're qualified to do a provincial contest. You do a provincial contest. If you place top 5, you do a national contest. You do a national contest. You win your weight class. That's the goal now, to win your weight class in a national contest. And believe it or not, that's a lot of people's dreams, just to win a national level show at their weight class. Now, if you want to turn pro, first of all, you have to go up in the weight classes. So I got my pro card winning the light heavyweight division. And then after you win your weight class, you have to beat all the other weight classes.
Okay. And the way you look, yeah, I need the symmetry, the quality of
it's everything. It's number one is conditioning. So they won't even look at you if you're not conditioned. So you got to be dry as shit.
Okay.
And then obviously it's the symmetry and the size, a combination of the symmetry, the size, even the genetic look of the muscle, how round it is, how nicely shaped it is. Because some people just have shitty genetics and they just don't look good. It's not nice. It's not eye pleasing. But when you have, you know, small joints, round, full muscle bellies, again, you kind of look like a cartoon character. That's basically, that's how you win.
So is that
after?
Is that the difference? I mean, I'm cutting you off, but I want you to continue with it. But is that the difference? Like the genetics? Like is that really the make or break and on the highest level?
So here's the thing, to get a pro card, you can get a pro card if your genetics are so-so, but you have to work your ass off. Like you have to really outwork everyone else, and it will probably take you a few times to get that pro card.
Yeah.
Now, once you get your pro card, you start all the way from the bottom again as a pro. If you're not genetically blessed, that's your cap. You're done.
Yeah.
So you have to be genetically blessed and continue with the hard work to make your way through the pro league. The first pro show I did was probably, some people say it's the second, some people say it's the third most difficult pro show in the world. It's the New York Pro.
Yeah.
It brings competitors from all over the world. And I chose this show specifically to be my first because I wanted to see how good am I really? Like, should I even pursue this? I got my pro card. It took me years, and it was a very rough battle to get that. And I was like, am I really good at this? Should I just stop now? Is this enough? I'm a pro. Can I call it quits? Or do I actually have the potential to be, to play with the big boys? So I did the New York Pro as my first show. Most Canadians and most people that do New York Pro as their first show don't place well.
Yeah.
They don't. So some Canadians did the New York Pro and they placed last or out of the top 10.
And in your situation?
I placed fourth, which was insane. Wow. And then I was like, holy shit, fourth in New York Pro, my first pro show. So me and my coach were like, all right, let's get this going. Toronto Pro. I do Toronto Pro and I get my first medal. I place third. I was like, holy fucking shit. Third place in my second pro show. All right, should we do one more? Just maybe I can get second, you know, let's just keep on pushing. I think that was the most year that I was motivated. And it was 2018. And then I did another pro show, Vancouver Pro, and I fucking won that show. And that's the picture when I'm like crying with my hands up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's rare. That's rare though. Someone winning a pro show from their pro debut year, from their rookie year.
Yeah.
And then I qualified to the Mr. Olympia, and but that went to shit though. That went to shit. Chloe was very sick during that time. She had surgery. Yeah, she had my wife Chloe. She had surgery 10 days before the Olympia.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that kind of did not go well. The show did not go well. There was lack of motivation. Obviously, picking up at home. You know, and it was rough.
So you qualify for the Olympia by winning a pro event. This is how it works. Like just for us to understand.
So there are two ways. There are two ways to qualify. You either win a pro show or you collect points. So when you place top 5 or top 3 at certain shows, you collect points, right? And then the points add up, and the top 3 athletes who have the most points in the world, the top 3, they get to go to the Olympia. So the Olympia would probably have the sum of every pro show winner and those top 3 at the point. So every division has like only 18 people.
Wow. That's wild, man. That is wild. And now so you're, because I'm a little bit kind of sad now. You've put all this energy, all this effort, and I get it. You're super successful. You're doing well with your business. You're gonna walk away now. So is this like you're not looking to compete anymore? Like this is really how it's gonna go? As your older cousin, come on, man.
So there's a whole there's the risk. You have to, you know, you have to prioritize, because there's always a risk in my sport. You know, with all the things that we're doing, it's not exactly the healthiest sport.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, like, I mean, I'm very keen on blood work. I'm very keen on seeing my cardiologist every year, and I do my best to make sure that everything's going well. It's funny because even my cardiologist said, he said, what's going to make you retire is not your health, it's your back problem. That's probably going to be what's going to take you out.
Deviated
and it is
discs.
getting worse every year.
Deviated discs.
Yeah, it is getting worse, you know, all those weights. So I'm at a point where, like, is this really worth it? And I think the fact that I'm very comfortable in life, there's a saying in Batman when he was fighting Bane.
You love that movie.
And he hits.
Do you remember we watched that movie together? Do you remember or no?
No,
when you
I
came
don't.
in 2012 in Dubai, we went and watched it together. You forgot.
Really?
Yes, we went to watch it. You went to watch it. It was the second time you'd seen it. You had already memorized all the words, and you destroyed me in the cinema because you kept saying all of Bane's lines as he was saying it. And I was like, I'm not here to listen to you do this. I want to see the guy do it.
Yeah, that does sound familiar, I guess. I don't know. There's that scene where Batman hits him and Bane kind of, you know, grabs his fist and he says something like, victory has defeated you. Oh, he said, no, he said, peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
And that's what it is with you now.
Yeah, I think so. Peace is costing me my strength. I'm just like,
you're comfortable,
hey,
you're successful, you're doing well, and you're just kind of like, you know, what?
So there's that voice. It's like, do I really want to keep doing this? And it's a paradox, because when I'm not doing this, I'm feeling incredibly bored. It's a weird spiral that could actually lead to depression, because, like, I'm used to waking up with a drive, like, you know, I got to do this. I'm 4 weeks out from my show. Come on, Eye of the Tiger shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm waking up, you know, 1 o'clock.
We experienced that
like,
firsthand today. Thank you very much. We
And
experienced that.
I'm like, oh fuck! I gotta do this podcast.
Thanks. Really appreciate that. On that note, guys, subscribe, like, tell your friends. Thanks a lot. No, but okay, you touched on it, and I think one of the things that a lot of people that look into the world of bodybuilding are always asking questions about is the element of health, is the element of the steroids, is the elements of all the things that come around that. And there's just like a cloud, right? Not a lot of people talk about it openly. One of the reasons why I wanted you on is because you are one of those few people that you're not shy to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't really care.
So tell us about it. Like, what is it? How does it work? You know, is it just kind of like random people work it, or is it very scientific?
No, it's very scientific. It's very scientific, and the problem with it is that it's just different with every person. Mm-hmm. First of all, let's just get something straight. Most professional sports use performance enhancing drugs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFL, like 85% of them are on juice.
Mm.
Baseball, I think baseball is even probably more than the NFL. Yeah. Most sports, and that's how it is, you know. And it's funny because people are like, oh, you know, that's not a good thing. But man, like, you fucking pay a ticket because you want to see some crazy shit. Otherwise, you just go to your kid's fucking baseball game.
Yeah.
And that's it. But you pay that extra buck because you want to see, you know, 10 home runs. You're hoping to see 10 home runs in a game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're watching an NFL, you want to see some bones breaking.
True.
And you can't see that if everyone's, you know, a natural athlete. And that's the beauty of pro sports. It's like, do whatever you have to do, but just let's see how far a human being can really go.
Exactly. Entertain us.
But do you think
us?
Do you think I kind of agree with you and I don't. I mean, I agree with you where athletes and fans should have the option to either subscribe to that level of competition where the human capability can reach a plateau. And I think by using sports and performance enhancing drugs, it takes it to that next level. And by using doctors, physicians, when it's scientific and it's calculated, I think the risk is minimized. So I think
no, that's not true. Steroids only work when everything else is 100%. And it's really fun sometimes to see where you got a guy who's lifting weights. And he's thinking, oh, you know, I want to get big. I'm gonna jump on a cycle of testosterone, and then he barely changes, dude. Like, I swear to God, without exaggerating, 60% or 70% of the people at Gold's Gym when I was training in Egypt were on juice, and they look like normal people.
No, but
they look like they're not doing anything.
What I was referring to is let's say I'm an athlete that doesn't believe in performance enhancing drugs. I'm entering a competition, whether it's running, cycling, basketball, football, baseball. I don't think it's fair to have that athlete compete against an athlete that's using performance enhancing drugs. Unless it's an open market where everybody says, okay, do whatever you have to do to get to that top. Do you think that's where this future of sports should be?
Yeah, I understand. But I mean, where's the line? Or what's really natural? So I'll give you an example. Do you know the Tour de France? Do you know what they do? They freeze their blood.
Yeah. The blood spinning stuff.
And then they shoot it back. Yeah. That's natural. But I mean, really, is that, you know?
It's kind of a gray area. I agree with you.
I think if go ahead. I know, because I was just going to
draw the line.
Exactly.
Correct. And I think that's the transparency should be there. By just saying ban all performance enhancing drugs, people will still find a way to do it and cheat the system. There's
exactly. So the best thing is free for all.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. It's an interesting
point.
That's
bodybuilding.
That is bodybuilding.
And that's bodybuilding. Exactly. Bodybuilding has embraced it in that sense.
Yeah, free for all, dude. Let's see how good you really are.
Yeah.
You think the performance enhancing drugs is what makes you a champion? All right, okay, let's see.
But then
think everything you want.
You know where it gets
hairy.
hairy? It gets hairy when you get the university athletes, when you get people that are not fully developed to make that conscious decision, or their bodies have not, like you said, steroids only, or hormones, or whatever performance enhancing drugs only work when everything else is working 100%. So if you're a 16-year-old kid in high school and you start shooting all kinds of stuff that's not verified, that's not tested, that's not lab produced, there's going to be severe consequences.
True.
Oh, detrimental consequences. Not only that, and this is the interesting part, I mentioned genetics. So the way your body receives these hormones plays a big role, because everyone will react completely different than the next person. So let's say I can take testosterone and I don't get acne.
Yep.
I don't get, knock on wood here. I don't get acne. I don't get high blood pressure. My cholesterol's fine. I don't get bloated and water retention, which means my testosterone doesn't convert to estrogen at a high level when I take it. But then you have another person, you would take the minimal dose of testosterone and his skin will break to shit with acne everywhere. His blood pressure will shoot through the roof. You'll even see it on his face. It's kind of red. He'll be extremely bloated. His cholesterol goes up and his body turns into a fucking circus.
Yeah.
And that's basically... that's natural selection, kind of, You're meant to be an athlete where your body is just designed to go all the way.
Yeah.
Or you're just not meant to do that. If you want to stay, like you said, a natural athlete, just within all the boundaries, then, stick to being an amateur and just doing it for fun. But some people, this is their livelihood. And they want to break records and they want to do some crazy shit, because that's what they want to do.
Go for it.
So
go for it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So now you talk like cycles or because again, people don't understand what juice is or what steroids are. They don't understand the science behind it, the different types. Can you give us a little bit of kind of view on what it's like? What's the cycle like? What are you doing? What are you taking? How do you counteract it? There's a whole science behind it, like you said, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the just a breakdown of it, a summary, because I don't want to get into too much detail.
Fair.
But I mean, hormones is basically testosterone. It's a hormone that everyone has. It's responsible for nitrogen retention. When you have nitrogen, the more nitrogen you have in your body, the more your body is able to metabolize protein. The higher the protein intake, the better the recovery, the better the muscle building effect. And again, it's all mostly about recovery, the ability of your body to recover faster so you can train more.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by you have to be doing everything 100%, because mostly what steroids is going to do is it's just going to make you train harder and be able to get away with it, as opposed to training harder and then just breaking down into injuries.
Yeah.
So it's the bottom line is it's mostly just testosterone and its derivatives. And some people can handle certain doses. And I guess, that also plays into a factor. Some people can take up to, I don't know, 30 folds a human being.
Wow.
Like, let's say your body produces between 70 and 100 milligrams of testosterone.
Would HGH fall under that, the human growth hormones?
So growth hormone is a very tricky thing, because there's a big misconception that growth hormone makes you grow. It doesn't. What growth hormone mainly does is burn fat. It causes lipolysis in your body. I think that's the word. And so it helps you burn fat and it helps you recover. It doesn't help you grow so testosterone helps your muscles grow too faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Growth hormone does not do that. Growth hormone recovers damaged tissue.
Okay.
So it's good for preventing injury. It's good for it's good for connective tissue. What it does in high doses is just an adverse effect that has no beneficial properties for athletes. So at high doses, all what it does is it makes your organs grow.
Yeah.
And it makes your connective tissue grow, which is your joints. And even your bone. Your bone gets a little denser and thicker.
Got it.
Wow.
And obviously not a lot of people know this. So a lot of mistakes would be, taking very high doses of HGH. What it does also is that it causes the cells to multiply. Now, someone would say like, oh, well, that's muscle growth. It isn't, because when you look at it, how many years, like it took me 14 years to make my muscles the size that they are now.
Yeah.
So when I take growth hormone, let's say over a period of 6 months, I have created new muscle cells. But the muscle cells are so insignificantly small, it'll take another 14 years to actually develop.
Wow.
So it's sort
Does
of
that make sense?
it puts the baseline for you to grow your muscle. It doesn't really grow the muscle.
It doesn't grow your muscles. No. It makes you hold water, which people think, oh, I'm getting bigger. But the second you stop, you lose a lot of water weight.
Got it.
Now, are you like a normal athlete, not you specifically, but just we talk in general, are the professional IFBB pros like doing these cycles or these regimens with these performance enhancing drugs with physicians advising, or it's a free for all? Like what however knowledgeable you are, good luck, like go out and try to do this. Like
the problem is doctors don't know much about any of this. So when I see my physician, I tell him, I need you to test me for this, and that. He doesn't know. He barely knows the names of the substances.
Wow.
So, for example, there's a drug, Trenbolone, that's originally used for cows to grow.
Okay.
It's not meant for human consumption. Winstrol, it's a drug that helps you kind of
Shred.
look harder. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't burn fat. It just gives you that harder look. That's designed for racehorses.
Yeah.
And I think it's just designed for horses in general. Like when you buy the veterinary grade, which is the best possible grade for that drug itself, it's a veterinarian company. Like you'd see a picture of a horse on it, and it's designed for horses.
I've seen those.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And to like,
so I don't even know how. I think the funny question is, who the fuck thought, hey, they're using it for cows.
That cow looks good.
Let me try using it. Yeah, this looks good. Let me try using that. I don't know who did that.
And you individually, like you weren't stressed about this, or and I just I'm trying to understand the mindset. Like I get it, the motivation, the chase to succeed, you want to be the best. You realize this is what you have to do. But doesn't that sit in the back of your mind? Like, what the hell am I doing?
I was a little bit of a pussy about it at first.
Okay.
And bodybuilding is a ghetto sport in Egypt. So I've kind of completely left the scene of where most people that I know would hang out. And I would just be around that scene. And those people are crazy. I remember I was in a car going to Gold's Gym, and I picked one of my friends up who's a bodybuilder. And we park, and then he takes a vial. He takes a vial out, an amp. He takes an amp out, and it's ephedrine.
Wow.
Okay. And he breaks it. And then he takes a syringe that was just in his pocket, and it looked like a used syringe.
Oh my god!
Like he didn't unwrap it; it was just kind of in his pocket. and then he fucking pulls the ephedrine out, and then he takes his finger and he licks his finger like that, and he finds a vein, and he's like, oh, right there. He does this, and then he shoots the ephedrine in him.
Wow, man.
And I'm just looking like, what the fuck?
So the idea is
happening?
to give him the energy to work out. This is a pre-workout. That's his pre-workout.
And hold on, I'm not done. So then he takes another amp out, and it's vitamin C. And then he shoots that too with the same syringe. And then he goes, now I can work.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Wow.
And I'm just there with my fucking pre-workout, doing a shake.
NO explode. Your NO exploding. You're like,
that kind of shit. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just see?
Unbelievable. Man.
Yeah, so these people are nuts. And I was like super scared of juicing. And I remember I wanted, bro, I hated the scene of, clubs and, people just, everything just didn't look real. What I liked about the bodybuilding culture in Egypt is it's so raw.
Mm.
You can't fake your work under those lights. If you're a and there were wannabe bodybuilders. From my university and people I knew, at Gold's Gym, because Gold's Gym is all like fancy people and shit like that. There were wannabe bodybuilders, and they pretended they're hardcore. But once you go under these lights, your bullshit will be exposed.
Of course. Now, isn't that? I was gonna say, like, what's so interesting about bodybuilding for me? What always used to kind of fascinate me about it is that most sports has a very specific goal, right? Like football, you score. Whoever scores more goals, you win the game. Basketball, same thing. Golf, whatever. Everything kind of has those parameters. Bodybuilding is so subjective. You have judges. It's like boxing,
that's
even
a
worse.
Problem.
Exactly. So I'm saying, isn't that so weird? Like, don't you feel like you're giving yourself, you're doing all this freaking work, you're sacrificing so much, and then these three randoms or four, I don't know how many judges are in a regular competition.
They're 5 or 6.
Okay.
And are they ex-bodybuilders? Are they former bodybuilders?
So some of them were professional bodybuilders. Some of them have just been in the industry for 30 years.
Yeah.
The judges at pro level, they're good. It's honestly rare when bullshit happens, and it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. It does, but it's not that often. And the thing is, everyone wants to be a victim when they lose.
Of course.
Of
course.
And it's usually like, look, if you're fucking 5th place, like, you're just shut up. You're not in the top 3. What are you even complaining about? You're not good enough to be in the top 3. I think my most painful year was 2019 because I've placed 2nd twice. And they were very I thought I should have won both.
Yeah.
One of them might have been a little more justifiable because the guy was he's a very well-known bodybuilder. I used to fucking watch him growing up. Like, he was a pro. Back when I couldn't even find my dick. Like, he's, he's just,
yeah.
I've known, and I was backstage. I'm like, I can't fucking believe I'm going to compete against him.
Unbelievable.
I've been Yeah, he's like 40 something, veteran bodybuilder, Olympian. And I pushed him on the fucking edge, and I was center stage. Center stage means you're winning. And they brought us out 3 times. They brought out the top 3 times. And I remember the 3rd time, I was like fucking dying. And the guy goes like, Durrah, they want you in the center. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. I'm beating this guy. He was significantly drier than me because of his age. He has that old muscle maturity. And I remember going backstage and he looked down, like he looked sad. And it was just crazy to see, like, this guy that I used to watch. Wow. I wouldn't even think of ever. Yeah, he won that day. And that really hurt me. But I mean, he did have something that I didn't have, which is the muscle maturity. So I can always justify it. I'm like, fine. Okay. I was bigger than him.
Yeah.
I was significantly bigger. I had better symmetry, but he was just like, dry raisin on stage.
That's such a weird thing about bodybuilding. Sorry, I'm cutting your story, but something that was in my mind. It is something from my understanding, you really hit your peak quite later than what natural sports or what people are familiar with.
That's true. Yeah. Every year your muscles just get more mature. Like dry, it dries up and looks thick, dense.
So what's like an age of like a peak in the bodybuilding world?
If you're injury free and consistent, I'd say 38.
Wow.
Between 36 and 40.
That's wild.
Between 36 and 40.
That's really wild. That's so counterintuitive to every other sport because everyone peaks at 28. What is that? That's the standard, right?
In my division, which is the 212, it's under the 212 pounds. There's only two divisions there's a lot of divisions, but like the bodybuilding is like open or under 212. In my division, last year's Mr. Olympia is 49 years old, who beat the anticipated 26-year-old star that's on the rise. And the guy's American. Like the guy, 26 years old, American. The judges want him to be Mr. Olympia. The guy that beat him is an Arab dude from Libya, 49 years old, but he fucking walks, and he's a walking human anatomy chart.
Wow. Like
the young kid just had no chance. The second they walked on stage, it was that's a wrap up, right? Like you can't even. So politics or what you say subjective can play a role, but sometimes when it's so obvious, it can't happen. And that's what I always say. I'm like, listen, if you're not good enough to make it obvious that you're the winner, then you don't really have much of a reason to complain.
Yeah, and somebody like that, like genetics play a major role, not only in how he looks, but for his body to sustain.
Believe it or not, the American had way better genetics, way bigger. But the guy's 49, consistent for 30 years.
That's what I mean.
Healthy, consistent.
Yeah, no injuries. Like for him to be in that shape at 49.
No injuries. Just so dry. Like every fucking fiber is there. And it was just unbelievable.
So who's the bodybuilder that you looked at and you're like, that's the guy I strive after?
In terms of success, Jay Cutler, because that guy has money, man.
Yeah, and he's healthy.
He is, yeah, he's healthy. He's got a set of hair, so
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch the Joe Rogan Ronnie Coleman? It was really sad. Just came out like a couple of days ago. Super sad, man.
Yeah. I saw clips of it. I didn't see all of it.
Because he's talking like 13 surgeries for his back and neck. He's on crutches, can't walk 10 steps. It's a trip.
You make decisions, man. You make decisions. I mean, what you choose. I don't believe in fate.
Yeah,
I believe in just making choices, and he has made certain choices. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and he says that. Yeah, he admits to it.
Is that what prevents you from wanting to do? Like, do you look at him and you're like, okay, I don't want to be like that? Is that one of the things?
Yeah, because I have a back injury, right? So I look at that. I'm thinking, would I rather have a historical record in bodybuilding and then just not be able to function as an older guy? Or would I be okay, just being a good pro and, fucking driving my Lambo or Ferrari? I choose the latter. Yeah, I want to drive in my nice car.
Speaking of cars, until you just got the new R8, which is just a beautiful, beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. The V10 Plus, that's a big difference.
There you go. You had to put it on. Okay, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, that's a big difference, man.
Nice, man. But it's okay now. You're doing it. You're doing the bodybuilding. Now you're kind of taking a step back. You're doing the programs. What else? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What's motivating you right now?
Honestly, my artistic side is just kind of like calling me back. I think I want to write a children's book.
Really?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
know it's super fucking random.
No,
and just has nothing to do with anything.
It's really cool,
that we're
man.
talking
Is
about.
it a superhero children's book? Just like the ones that...
No, it's actually a very sentimental story, and like it's sort of a dedication to my first dog. I was never into dogs, and I was freshly divorced, and when I was dating Chloe at the time, she said, you could. I was very depressed and just wasn't okay. She said, you need a dog in your life. You know how we're raised. I'm like, nah, I don't want a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a pain in the ass. And then one day she kept pursuing me, and it was, I think, an extra bad day. Like, I'm just like, Chloe, whatever, just do whatever you want. And then she goes running. Like, it's like she knew
this is the solution.
I think
this is the solution. This is the solution for this depressed guy.
Yeah. So she comes back with a baby Shih Tzu.
Mm.
And I look at it, and then I carry it, and holy shit, man! I say I have 2 dogs now and 2 kids. I say I have 4 children.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
because they're like my children. But Mindy, her name is Mindy. After 2 years, she died in a car accident.
Oh no!
And I have a huge picture of her in black and white on my wall in the living room. And I've been through a lot of shit, accidents, divorce. I've seen shit in life. Nothing compares to the pain that I experienced when she passed away.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was just horrible. And the book, this children's story book, is kind of for her. Like, it's,
Be
it's
amazing,
a very sentimental children's story.
So are you working on it? So is this now a work in progress, or is this something you're still in the thought process now, or still trying to kind of put it together?
I mean, I kind of have the story in mind, but I haven't begun writing it. I didn't take that step. It's weird because it's very different. Bodybuilding is very different than that. Being a sport is like your brain is programmed in a certain way where you have to kill all your emotions to be able to do the shit that we do.
Yeah.
And then this is just getting in full tune with your emotional side. So it's 2 very contrasting things.
So now, like, I'm just trying to think this through now. Like, I'm putting together the whole story of you. So bodybuilding, it's a dead story for you now, like in terms of competing professionally.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Don't know the answer to that, because some days I just miss the fire. I miss the drive. The competition. Some days I miss all that, and I'm like, maybe, maybe I'll just keep doing this. I love doing it. And then another part is just like, nah, I'm done. I'm good. I've had my run and I'm good. I'm still on the fence.
Are you grinding? Are you still grinding away? Are you still putting in the work right now? Yani, are you following a similar cycle?
I'm maintaining.
Yeah.
No, I'm off. I've been off.
I'm sorry. The cycle. I'm using bad terminology when I say cycle. Like your usual
training
schedule.
routines.
Yeah, schedule routine.
I mean, I eat, instead of 6 meals a day, I eat 4 meals a day. I'm maintaining as much as I can. I still train 4 times a week, so it's not like I'm letting go completely. I still want to have, because of my job, it depends on how I look. So I still want to maintain that, and I'm doing very, very well. My coaching company is growing very fast. We're expanding our customer service. By the way, I gotta get bouncing soon. I got a root canal.
Yeah, I
30
got you.
minutes.
I got you. I was just coming close to wrapping it up, so I was giving you a chance to tell us where you're going.
So this is where I'm at now.
That's amazing, man. And look, I'm telling you, I'm hoping we'll get you on again without a time constraint and you showing up on time, right? Because that was some bullshit. Just for everyone to know, hold up. Just for everyone to know, I'm gonna paint a picture of the scene, right? So me and Laith are set up, lights, camera, we're doing all this shit, and it's time, right? And then Laith is like, "Yo, is your cousin coming on?" I'm like, "Don't worry, he's solid. He's Al Durrah. Don't worry, he's solid, right?" And
I did
hold up. Between me and myself, I know Mahmood is useless, right? I know he's gonna yeah, right. But anyways, so I'm like, whatever, hitting him up, messages, yo. He sends me a picture. He looks like he's a COVID patient. Right, because he's wearing his sleep apnea freaking thing. So I'm thinking, the second I seen the picture, just so you know, I seen the picture, I tripped out. I'm like, oh shit, he's in the hospital. This guy was like with some randoms, kissing some random girl, doing some crazy shit, right? but yeah. So then he shows up 2 hours late, right? So now he's got to go do his root canal. But honestly,
better late than never.
Better late than never. It was awesome, Habibi. Honestly, great seeing you again. We'll get you on again. For everyone out there, as usual, stay in your lane, follow us, subscribe, hit us up, and thank you, Mahmood, man. Take care, brother.
We'll do this again. And for everyone watching, visit my website, durrahnation.com, right here, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on Instagram. A lot of cool shit on there.
Thanks,
amazing.
Mahmood.
All right, bro.
All the best.
Whatever it is. All right, take care, guys.
See you, Habibi.
Catch up soon.
Take care, man.